Hey guys, Jeff here. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different, and that is bikes, specifically e-bikes. So a lot of you probably know us as, van builders. So when we got our first van about 2.5 years ago, I really wanted to get into biking because I thought, we're going to go to all these cool places and want to be able to ride bikes when we do this. So we bought a couple of mountain bikes and put a rack on the back of our van, and it was awesome when we took those bikes with us. But what we found is we didn't use them that much. And the reason is, we haven't been big bikers throughout our lives, and just found that we weren't in very good shape. And, we just didn't use them as much as we thought we would. Fast forward a couple of years later and started hearing more about e-bikes, and thought, what, that's kind of a cool thing, might make more sense for us. And so, I started really diving in and researching different types of bikes. Originally thought I just want to get more of a road bike. A lot of times they call them commuter bikes, that are more for cities and things like that. But as I looked more into it, I was really intrigued by the Fat Tire Ebikes, and that's what these are. And the reason for that is, they're great on the road. These bikes are about 75 pounds each. Now these are basically the same bike. These are made by a company called Velotric, and this is the Nomad one. That's their Fat Tire e-bike. This one is a step over, this one's a step through. Really, they're both, other than that, pretty much identical. The handlebars on the step through are swept back just a little bit more so that your riding position, your handlebars are back a little bit more, where the step over, they're a little bit more forward, a little bit more like a mountain bike. Other than that, they're pretty much the same, way within, I think, a pound of each other. This one is Lisa's, but really a lot of men use the step over or the step through as well. They're not really a male and female. The step through is actually really nice and really comfortable to ride on. I've ridden on both, and so really it doesn't matter, whichever one fits your preference. This one, maybe if you're just a little bit shorter, this one might be better, just because it's easier to touch the ground. So what I thought I'd do with these bikes is talk about kind of why we chose these bikes, why we think this is the best e-bike, Fat Tire e-bike in its price range. There are a lot more expensive bikes you can buy, but if you're looking to buy maybe under $2,000, we really think this is the best one. I'm going to go over a lot of the features of these bikes and why we chose them, why we think these are the best e-bikes in their price range, as well as some of the other bikes, types of bikes that Velotric offers. And then make sure you stay until the end of the video, because I'm going to talk about some of the accessories that we purchased that really make these even more comfortable. If you start looking at e-bikes, you're going to find all kinds of brands that you probably never heard of before. There's a few of the bigger companies that do make e-bikes, like Specialized or Trek. They're quite a bit more expensive. There's also some companies, Quiet Cat makes one. There's a local company here in Utah called Ride On. There's also a company called Bakar that makes e-bikes. These and they're really good bikes, but you're going to pay 2 to 3 times as much as you would for this bike, either of these bikes. And I'll talk about some of the features that set them apart. But this company, Velotric, was founded by several people who were involved in the biking industry, working for some of the big bike companies in America, like Specialized, Trek, Giant, and some other bike companies. And so they brought a lot of the know-how from the biking industry and built their own bike. Now these bikes, pretty much all of the bikes that you're going to see are 48 volt. That's what these are. And these have about 14.5 amp hour batteries. And what that means is you're going to be able to go anywhere from about 40 to 50 miles on a charge. Now that depends a lot on how heavy you are, how hard you ride it, how much you use the pedal assist versus the throttle, things like that. But what we found in our riding is we easily get 30, 40 miles on a charge, which is pretty much a full day for us. Now in e-bikes, there's a couple of different classes. There's a class 1, 2, and 3. These are class 2 bikes, but you're able to unlock them so they'll go faster, which makes them the class 3 bike. There are some differences in the class 2 and the class 3. That's what I'm mainly going to talk about here. Class 2 are able to go up to 20 miles an hour. The class 3 can go faster than that. Typically, they're in the 25 to 30 mile an hour range. And what I found is most of the riding, if you're in a national park, national forest, public bike paths, things like that, you're limited to a class 2 bike. And so when I first got these bikes, I thought, oh, I'm gonna unlock these so they'll go faster. And I did that right after I got it. But what I found is that we use the class 2 most of the time. We're usually on paths that will not allow class 3 bikes. And then also what I found is 20 miles per hour is plenty fast on these things. Most of the times we're in the 12 to 15 mile an hour range is pretty comfortable ride of these. So really for most people, the class 2 is going to be fine, but you are able to unlock these to a class 3 if you want to. Now these bikes have 75 watts of power. And you're going to find that on most Fat Tire e-bikes, they're 750 watts. Most of the other bikes, like the commuter bikes and the ones that are more for the road, are 500 watt bikes. The 750 watt is really nice when you're climbing hills and you're on trails and things like that. These bikes actually have a peak power of 1200 watts. So what's really nice about that is if you're climbing a hill or something, it can give you that extra power up to 1200 watts to really climb well. These bikes really, really climb well. I've watched a lot of other reviews where they've done a lot of other e-bikes in the under $2,000 price range, and this is by far the best climber out of any of them. Now, another thing that's really nice about these bikes, a feature that they have, is they have an 8-speed shifter. A lot of bikes in this price range have a 7-speed, and that extra gear, what I found, is really nice if you're going fast, to be able to kick it up into that 8th gear to give a little bit of resistance as you're pedaling. Otherwise, you get going at full speed, and even on a bike that would have 7 speeds, you got in 7th speed and you're just pedaling, with no resistance at all. And so that 8th gear is really nice that way, and that's something that's kind of not a lot of bikes in this price range have that. Another thing these have is hydraulic brakes. Hydraulic disc brakes, which is nice. They're good, solid brakes. Some of the other bikes in this price range will have mechanical brakes, which wear out more, have to be adjusted more often. And so it's really nice to have that, the hydraulic brakes on these. So what I want to do is we're going to take you out and ride around, give you some demonstrations of different types of terrain and things like that. And then we'll come back and I'll just talk about kind of my overall thoughts of these, and then also some of the accessories that we really like for these that have made them, we think, more enjoyable to ride. So starting off here, you can see pedal assist 1. You change the assist level just by pushing this up button right here, and I can go anywhere from 0 to 5. 5 would be the most assist. It's also going to go the fastest in 5. And 0 would be no assist at all, so I'd be just straight pedaling. And then 1 would be the least assist. So that's where I'm going to start out. So this is the throttle right here. I can just do the throttle to go, but then I can also just start pedaling. I rarely use the throttle. Occasionally when I'm just starting out, especially if I'm on a little bit of a slope, I might start out with the throttle. But for the most part, I just start pedaling, and then the assist is gonna kick in. So I'm in the pedal assist 1, and I'm just gonna do straight throttle so you can see. It's gonna go right about just under 12 miles an hour. Now I'm gonna kick it up to 2, and it'll go just a little bit faster. So right about 15 miles an hour. Now if I kick it up to 3, just under 19 miles an hour. Now I'm gonna kick it up to 4. You can see now I do have this bike unlocked, and so now I'm going 21 miles an hour, and then on 5, got just a little over 25 miles an hour. I really like about this bike is depending on the assist level also determines the speed of the bike. So if I just want to cruise along going, 10 miles an hour, I can just put it in assist level 1 and just pedal, and it's going to keep me right about 10 or 11 miles an hour. If I want to go a little bit faster, I can kick it up to, pedal assist 2 or 3. Now, what I found out riding with other people who have, bikes, is some of the bikes will go the same full speed no matter what gear you're in. It just is the pedal assist level just determines how hard you're pedaling. But if I just pedal really lightly, there I am 12.5 miles an hour. And so it's nice that way to just be able to go nice and slow if you're in a congested area. If I just kick it up a little bit, I'll go just a little bit faster with the same amount of effort. I'm able to get some resistance. So what I like about this is if I want to get a little bit of a workout and get my heart rate up a little bit, I can make it a little bit harder to pedal and really still be able to get a bit of a workout. Nowhere near what I'm going to get with a normal non-electric bike, but at least I can have some resistance and feel like I am putting a little bit of work. So you can really determine that, which is nice, especially when you get to be my age. If you want to go on a 20, 30 mile an hour ride and cover a lot of terrain, it's really nice to be able to do that and just put in the amount of effort that you want. One thing I found when I'm out riding and I'm on a hill and there's traditional bikers pumping up the hill, having a real workout getting up the hill, and I just go zipping by them. It's kind of nice, and I appreciate that. I always wonder what they're thinking. If they're thinking, oh, wow, I wish I could do that and just cruise up the hill without the effort, or if they're thinking, wow, what a loser. They have to use an e-bike to be able to get up this hill. We were up a couple weeks ago up in Idaho and in the Sawtooth National Forest. Just in an afternoon ride, we were able to see some beautiful terrain that we'd never been to before, way up in the mountains, and these bikes were able to climb the hills. We were with my brother and sister-in-law who have bikes that I think my brother-in-law's is about a $4,500 bike, and my sister-in-law's was a $3,500 bike. Now these bikes retail for $17.99, but there are some deals going on. I'll put a link in the description where right now at the time of this filming, you can get $300 off, and you can also get some bonus accessories with them. So for under $1,500, you can get one of these bikes. And so, like I said, a lot of the bikes are 2.5 to 3 times as much as these. Now I'm going up a pretty steep hill and I'm only on a 2, but if I give it a little bit more assist, it just zips right up this hill, no problem. So that's one thing. If you want a little bit more of an assist, then you just kick it, or you're climbing a hill, then it's good to put it into a little bit more pedal assist. One thing that's kind of nice about the electric is you don't, if you're on a regular non-electric bike, you're constantly having to shift and downshift if you can slow down and speed up. And with these bikes, it's nice because I've got it in a pretty high gear. I think I got it in 5th or 6th gear right now, but I didn't downshift at all as I was coming to the stop. So what I can do is just use the throttle to get going. And then as I get to the point where I can pedal, then I just take over on the pedaling. So you don't have to downshift as often, every time you come to a stop. You can just kind of use that throttle to get your speed back up and then start pedaling when it becomes comfortable for you. So I'm on a pretty steep hill, so I'm going to move my assist up, and then it cruises right up the hill. So what I'm going to do is on a level 5 from a standing start, I'm going to use the throttle only, and we're going to see how long it takes me to get up to top speed. So ready, set, go. You can see in about 10 seconds, I'm going 25 miles an hour. So pretty quick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and do the same thing, only pedaling. But this time I'm going to do it. I'm going to do pedaling. We'll see if it does it any faster. Ready, set, go. So it kicked in right there. Now I'm going to change my gears. So it is just a little bit faster when I pedal, maybe by a couple of seconds to hit the top speed. It was probably a little bit slower start, but then overall, once I start pedaling, it kicks in. And so I thought what I'd do is go down. There's some trails close by here that are unpaved, and I'm going to go down there, and there's a pretty good hill. I'm going to try climbing that and see how this does on that hill. Grips on this are really comfortable. The seat is really comfortable. Like I said, I've ridden for several hours on end on real rough dirt roads, and it's plenty comfortable. It does have the shock absorbers, the suspension in the front, but not in the back. So it would be considered more of a hardtail bike, not full suspension. So I'm feeling a little bit, you know, from the pedaling. I'm going to switch down to a level 1, go up this curb. So this is part of our trail system that runs through our area called the Murdoch Trail. This trail will go from our house about 20 miles down. If you can see that mountain way down there, that's Mount Timpanogos, and Provo Canyon is up there. You can take this trail all the way down to there and then all the way up Provo Canyon. And then we're going to go up this hill. I'm going to do it first, pedaling, and no throttle, just on level 5 and pedaling, and then I'm going to try it again. If I make it up okay like this, then I'll try it throttle only. So here we go. Now I can tell you it's going up this hill pretty easily, and most Fat Tire e-bikes would not make it up that hill. I can tell you that right now. That made it up no problem in a level 5. What I found is that when you pedal along, it just does climb. I think it just sends a little bit more wattage. But you can see now going down, this is a pretty steep hill, and it made it up that no problem at all. As this does have a peak wattage of 1200 watts, 750 continuous, and so it will climb just a little bit. I think it just probably sends a little more watts when you're pedaling with it. And I'm just going to throttle only. But if I just pedal a little bit, now I can feel more power. So it definitely makes a difference if you're pedaling. So I'm in power assist level 5 now, and 8 speed, going uphill just a little, and I've got some resistance to the pedals. If I just go down 1 gear to 7th, I'm just freewheeling it, pedaling, and no resistance at all. So that's where I say it is really nice to have that 8th gear where I can still feel like I'm doing some work. If you can hear, I'm huffing and puffing a little bit because it does require a little bit of effort if you're pedaling with that resistance. So if I'm someplace like this, I'm still in 8th gear. So I'm just gonna leave it in 8th gear, just use the throttle to get going. And then once I get up to speed, I can just let go of the throttle and I can just pedal. So it's nice that way, like I say, to not have to downshift and upshift every time you come to a stop. So I'm going uphill, pretty good grade, still going 25 miles an hour. So it'll maintain its top speed, you know, even going up a pretty good incline. So gives you a good idea, hopefully, of this bike. And again, I really can't recommend it highly enough if you're looking for an e-bike, whether it's a Fat Tire or another type. Velotric offers several. They offer a commuter bike. They offer one that is more of a, it's called the Packer, and has a rack, and you can carry extra stuff on it. So if you're using it to run around, maybe go shopping, stuff like that, that one's really nice. And I'll link to all these in the description. And like I said, they do have some discounts going on right now. So I promised that I would give you some of my favorite accessories, and I will link to all of these in the description. First of all is the rear rack. This doesn't come with the bike, it's an additional charge. I think it's around $79. They do have an offer going right now where you can get the bike, a front rack and the rear rack included, and get a discount off of that. For me, the front rack didn't really make sense, but the rear rack is a must. So secondly here's the rear rack just all by itself. This is an add-on. I bought this bag, and I will link to it also, but I love this bag. It's great. It's really padded. So if you want to use it for camera equipment, which is what I use it for, it has, you can kind of adjust these things inside, and it's very rigid and well padded. And then this part comes with it, and it's a track system. And because this wasn't made for this particular bike rack, I've used really strong zip ties to put this on, and it's really rigid. And then it just slides in and locks in right there. So now it's not going anywhere. You can put a water bottle here, you can put all your equipment in here, and it won't come off. And when you want to take it off, you just push this button down and slide it off. So it's really nice that way. It also has these saddlebags on the side that you can unzip. So if you were taking this bike out and doing more heavy duty biking, you can actually fold this down and use the side pouches to carry more gear in. So that's something I really like, is that bag. They have other bags where you have to strap them on, but the problem with that is if you're taking it on and off like I do and don't want to leave it on all the time, it's kind of a hassle. So this one's really nice that it just slides in and locks in. The next thing I really like, I think it's like a must-have, is this rear view mirror. And I really like this mirror. This was something I bought on Amazon, and I'll link to this. It's really sturdy. It folds, it moves around. And the nice thing about this is I just have it on the left side, but it allows me when I'm driving along to be able to look back and see if there's any cars coming or other bikers or things like that. Or if Lisa and I are out riding, I can just check that mirror and see behind her, and you're not constantly having to turn around. So for me, that's a must. Velotric sells one as well, but it's more expensive. So I'm going to link to this one. I think it's around $25 or $30. Really nice. Phone holder, which I think is really nice. It's spring loaded, so it's really easy to put your phone in. You just kind of push up and down, and it locks in there. It's not going anywhere, and then you just lift it up to take it out. So overall, if you're looking for a good e-bike, I would at least recommend you take a look at the Velotric bikes. There are others out there that are good, but this is the one we chose, and we've been really happy with it, especially for the price. So if you got value out of this video, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a thumbs up. That tells YouTube to show this video to even more people. And if you're looking for a good e-bike, especially a Fat Tire e-bike, can't recommend the Velotric bikes highly enough. Thanks for watching. Thrive on. See ya.